Hi, everyone. I'm James Milan. Welcome to this week's Town Hall update with our town manager, Adam Chapdelaine. Adam, welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You too, always. And I want to start this Town Hall update by invoking previous updates that we did over a lot of months around COVID-19 because, of course, the situation's fluid. Please bring us up to date on where things stand here in Arlington.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't help but think we may have jinxed ourselves by renaming these these Thursday sessions. But as I think many in town likely know, on Monday we announced a set of new measures to be put in place in regards to increasing concern about the Delta variant. On Monday, we put in place a requirement for all people, vaccinated or unvaccinated, to wear masks when in town buildings, while also issuing a strong encouragement for people to wear masks in other public spaces, so private businesses that any of us might go into. Board of Health voted on Wednesday to affirm both of those policies and also said that they would come back in a week and reassess whether or not we need to change the strong encouragement in other public spaces from a strong encouragement into a mandate. You may have seen that Belmont, Salem, and some other nearby communities have gone, I think Somerville, have gone all the way to a mandate in other public spaces. We weren't fully prepared to go there yet, but as things continue to develop, we'll certainly take a look at that. I think it's important to underscore a few things to explain why we're taking these steps. And I've really put it into two buckets. One, the science seems to clearly be showing that vaccinated people can both catch and then transmit this Delta variant. And though the data isn't showing that those that are vaccinated are experiencing extreme illness or severe illness in large quantities, the fact that they can transmit it creates two main problems. One, it could be transmitted to immunocompromised loved ones or potentially children who are not yet vaccinated living with any of us. And that's a concern. I think we want to do everything we can to break the chains of transmission, even to the vaccinated, to reduce the risk of transmitting it to those that are most vulnerable. Second, and this is where I will issue my continued caveat that I'm not a scientist, but from everything I've read and learned from scientists and doctors, the more we let this virus continue to circulate in our population, the more chance that there could be a worse variant yet to come. So if we don't squash this Delta variant, whatever the next Greek alphabet variant might be, could be worse. And that's, I think, something that's scary to me and I think scary to a lot of people. So collectively, masking up again, even though we're vaccinated, to try to protect those most vulnerable and do our part as a society to not get us to another variant where this thing will just never end, is why we're recommending, or why we put these measures in place.
And can I just clarify one thing, or get your best sense of one thing, and that is this you've just described where this is coming from. Is it also tied into specific numbers that we are seeing here in Arlington, changes in those numbers, or is this an abundance of caution for the number of reasons that you've already mentioned and trying to get or stay out in front of this here in town?
So I'd say we're looking at three things. We are looking at our own numbers, which have ticked up. We are seeing more cases in Arlington than we had seen just a month ago. We're looking at the CDC data, which determines counties that either have a significant or substantial risk of transmission, which Middlesex County is now, I believe, in the substantial risk of transmission category. And we're looking at the MWRA wastewater COVID testing. That gives you a pretty good picture of the prevalence of COVID within the population. And that data in the total system is continuing to tick up, slightly ticking down in the north side of the system, which we're in. So we're going to continue to watch that along with those other two metrics to determine where we need to be. But today, yes, we have seen increases in all of those counts, or at least that those data points are pointing towards there being an increased prevalence of the virus in our community. I think it's a good caveat or a good pivot to also say, we're not putting these in place ad infinitum, right? This isn't going on forever. We're going to take this in chunks, frankly, maybe a week at a time, and give, we might have to strengthen it, we might be able to pull it back, but we want to watch this surge, see what happens with the virus, do what we can for everyone's, the best interest of everyone's public health, but also follow the science. And if, soon masks being worn by vaccinated people are no longer recommended, we will pull back.
All right. Thank you for that. Pivoting, as you were just mentioning, to another topic, which we have alluded to before. ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act, which basically is the title, of course, for a massive amount of funds that were distributed to towns, cities, states, et cetera, by the federal government as part of the pandemic response. And we have to figure out what to do with that money. You and I have talked about it a little bit before. So ARPA is the framework, and the timeline for that is what we're interested in hearing about at this point, please.
That's great. So I think the high points are, as you said, American Rescue Plan Act, called ARPA, Arlington in line to receive $34 million from two pots of money. And now us wanting to work with the community and community stakeholders to figure out the best way to spend those monies over the course of the next 3.5 years. So I've worked to film a video that goes in a little more detail about those pots of money, about the eligible criteria for spending, as well as our current proposed framework. We spent the past couple months, frankly, working both with town departments and some external stakeholders, such as the Housing Corporation of Arlington, Food Link, Arlington Eats, the Arlington Housing Authority, trying to really shape up where we think investments can or should be made based on the eligibility and based on the needs in the community. So today, August 12th, we will be releasing that. It's about a 15-minute video that we filmed, giving more detail on our current plans. We'll also be kicking off a public comment period today. That public comment period will be open until September 9th. We'll be issuing an online form where people can submit comments today. It'll be open till September 9th. Also on September 9th, we're going to conduct a virtual town forum to provide updates and information in a real-time fashion to members of the public, as well as answer questions and receive more feedback on September 9th. Based on everything we receive, we'll make updates and changes to our current proposed framework, bring that to the select board on September 13th for their review and for them to be able to provide feedback. We'll make edits based on that. And then we'll come back to the select board once again on September 27th, which what we hope will be close to a final plan, though I think there may be adaptations and revisions made over time over the course of the next 3.5 years. But on September 27th, we'll ask for select board endorsement of the plan as it stands at that time, so we can go forward and start making these investments in the community.
Great. So we stand here in August. It's still summertime, and even town managers get to enjoy some summer. We understand that you'll be off on a couple of weeks of vacation coming up here, so congratulations to you for that, and I hope that it works out very well for R&R for you. In the meantime, we will have Christine Bongiorno joining us in 2 weeks' time for this town hall update. We will skip next week. And again, wish you the best on your vacation.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you on the other side. All
Same
right.
Here.
With Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine for this town hall update, I'm James Milan. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.